Will RJ Harvey be the RB1 on the depth chart this season? This is your Denver Sports Daily for July 30th.
The biggest stories, the latest news. It's Denver Sports Daily.
Training camp is here. Of course, we know that. It's been the only talk going around the station, going around here, all of our digital sites. That's the main thing going on right now. It's training camp, and RJ Harvey has been out there. And before training camp started, I was very vocal about there are two position groups to watch, running back and cornerback. And right now, the running back room is what we're going to focus on for this episode, because there's been a lot going on with RJ Harvey. He's been performing well. He's been turning heads. He's been, showing what he's there for. This rookie he was Sean Payton's pick. And you can't get mad at Sean Payton for picking somebody like RJ Harvey. I wasn't too excited about the pick. And if you've known, or if you've watched the show, you know that I have feelings about RJ Harvey that aren't necessarily great. And I want to say a few good things about him, but then I kind of want to come back to where I was beforehand, because he had a good run yesterday. And yesterday, just a very slim part of training camp, but he bounced an outside run for a 40-yard gain. And Sean Payton spoke on that gain, letting the people know that RJ Harvey, he was doing well. And he said, quote, he had a run today that was something, and we kind of turned and looked at each other. That's what you want to see from RJ Harvey. You want to see him turn heads. You want to see him get out there and, make Sean Payton proud almost. But doing what he did yesterday, bouncing a run outside for a 40-yard gain. If you remember a couple episodes ago when I was talking about RJ Harvey, I was talking about the downsides and the upsides to his game. The upsides are that he's a great route runner. He's great in the passing game when he's catching the ball or going out for a route. But inside, when he's having to block, it's not great. And when he actually gets the ball in his hands and has to run the ball, he doesn't like to go up the middle. He likes to bounce it outside. And sure, hey, it worked in training camp yesterday, and it worked in college, of course. I mean, he was a great running back in college. I don't know if that's going to work as well in the NFL. But it worked yesterday, and Sean Payton was very proud of that. But then 2 plays later, there was a play where he was going to be pass blocking. He was blocking for Bo Nix, and what happened? He was blown up. He was put on the ground. And that's just what happens. And that's what you could see. I mean, my number one critique of RJ Harvey is that he's too small. And of course, when he's in there pass blocking, he's going to get dominated by a D lineman. It's just bound to happen. So when he's having to block for a pass, he's a non-factor, which, drops his stock a little bit when you're looking at the depth chart. But, and that happens, getting blown up. You're pass blocking, you're going up against these NFL guys. That'll happen. And Sean Payton spoke on that. He said, quote, there's a little learning curve for all those young players, and some of it happens a little quicker maybe than others. And, there is a learning curve. Of course, he's a rookie. We know this. But when you're watching things like this happen, you're watching him get blown up when he's pass blocking. And then sure, he bounced it outside for a 40-yard gain. That's good. That's good to watch. It's fun. But is that really good news? You want him to get confident running up the middle, because he's not going to be able to bounce it outside against some of these defenses in the NFL. It's just not how the game works. And it will never work that way. You can't succeed 100% of the time when you're just bouncing it outside every time you get the ball. And that's where J.K. Dobbins starts to come in, because this guy is a proven running back, averaged over 5 yards a carry for his career. So we know what J.K. Dobbins can do, but we don't know what RJ Harvey can do. All that we know is what we can see so far in training camp and what we've seen in college. And when you watch things in college, how well can they actually translate to the NFL? Sometimes they do. Some tools are better than others from college to the NFL. They translate better. But I don't know if bouncing outside is one of those tools that's going to translate well at all. And with his pass blocking being an issue, it's really starting to, drop it from him being the RB1 to maybe just coming in and sharing snaps with J.K. Dobbins, or even J.K. Dobbins being the lead, running back for this team. And then RJ Harvey gets in when he can. But then moving on, Courtland Sutton promised the Broncos a bright future. He clearly wants to bring us back to the golden era when they were winning championships and Super Bowls, when they were doing everything right, when Peyton Manning was here. That's the kind of mentality that Courtland Sutton is having right now. Now, of course, yesterday we know that he signed a 4-year, $92 million extension great news for Broncos country. You got your wide receiver 1, and I know I've been critical calling him a wide receiver 2 because that's what he is. He is a glorified wide receiver 2, but he's still a proven wide receiver in this league. I mean, he got 1,000 yards last season. We saw that. That's his second time doing so. He's a wide receiver 1, and whether you like it or not, he is on this team as the wide receiver 1, and he now is speaking about how he wants to bring the Broncos back to the golden age when they were winning Super Bowls. He said, quote, "It is a legacy being able to be here, signing the contract. That was the biggest thing for me, being able to be here and bring back the years that Broncos fans have known." That's what you want to hear. You know, he's here for 4 years. You don't want it to be 4 years of mid. You don't want it to be 4 years of nothing. You want it to be 4 years of greatness. And that's clearly where Courtland Sutton's head is at right now. And with him paired up with Bo Nix, especially paired up with Bo Nix, I'll get into that in a second. But being paired up with Bo Nix, he now has his quarterback. You know, look at a time when Courtland Sutton had a real quarterback. And sure, Russell Wilson was a real quarterback, but he didn't work here. It just didn't work out. Teddy Bridgewater was great. I've got a Teddy Bridgewater Broncos jersey. Love the guy. But was he like able to get Courtland Sutton to where he needed to be? Was he able to be Courtland Sutton's, quarterback? I don't think he was. But now Bo Nix is clearly Courtland Sutton's quarterback. I mean, Courtland had a career high 81 receptions last year. It was Bo's favorite target. So, of course, things are going to work out between those two. And it's especially good that things are working out between those two because now both of their contracts finish in the same offseason. So the Broncos are going to have to play around a little bit, see what they're going to do because they obviously, if these 4 years are successful with those two, they're going to want to keep them together for as long as possible. And it's fun to think that, in 4 years, both of those guys, fun is a funny word, by the way, more like scary, but both of those guys are going to have an option. They're going to have a choice. They're going to have money on the table that they need to accept or decline. So we got to wait 4 years to see what happens between those two. But hopefully this connection will be as strong as ever in those 4 years. Now, Sutton went on speaking about the Broncos' past success, saying, quote, "The organization has such a long historical tradition of being successful. I've been here through thick and thin. There's a lot of promise on the other side of the horizon here. To be here and to have more years of being able to chase greatness with this great team that we have and with this great organization, that was one thing I was looking forward to." How could you not look forward to it? I mean, the Broncos have treated him well. They've wanted him on this team. Of course, they've trusted in him. He is the wide receiver for this squad for the future. And now they've got that deal out of the way. So it's great that his mindset is on winning now. It's not about the money. It's not about whether he's getting the most touches, whether he's getting the most receptions. It's about winning overall. And it's great to know that Courtland Sutton will be here for another 4 years. Now, that'll do it for your Denver Sports Daily. I will be back with you guys again tomorrow talking more about training camp because, of course, it's all going on right now. It is getting crazy. Training camp is the most exciting time of the year because you're watching all of these new rookies, all these new players on the squad finally get out there and get active. And I can't wait to talk more about it. But I will see you guys all tomorrow. Until then, y'all have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all.